This is Mikey.
And I'm Garrison Rifen. This is Cinema Debrief. Welcome to Cinema Debrief. I'm Garrison Rifen over here with my co-host Mikey. How are you doing tonight, Mikey?
What is up, Garrison? Man, it is one of those weekends, and you'll learn this eventually once you're in the same status as I am as a married man. When your family goes out of town for the weekend, it is really the best thing on the face of the earth because as a man, you can do whatever you want to. I wish I could say I've been like watching a ton of movies, but it's more like catching up on TV shows. Like I've started the new season of The Bear. I don't know how I feel about it, so I won't necessarily. I need to see the last two episodes first before I assess the full season. But I've only got two more episodes, and those are the two. Like most of the episodes of season 5 of The Bear were under 25 minutes.
Wow.
Which is really strange, and they go by very fast. So it is an easy binge. So it does utilize the binge model well, but the last two episodes, the penultimate and the finale, are an hour. So they take a little bit more time to end the series, but getting to that point's been easy. So I haven't been seeing a ton of movies. Now I'm going to see something tonight that I missed last week, Death of Robin Hood. So I'll be able to talk about that just briefly next week. Just my assessment of it. It hasn't gotten the best reviews, but I'm a Robin Hood completist. I own pretty much every version of Robin Hood that there has existed on film. On Blu-ray.
What's your opinion on Basil Rathbone?
I haven't watched it. I
Really?
own it. I own it, but I haven't watched it yet. And in fact, I forgot about a television version that was on either TNT or TBS starring Patrick Bergin from the 90s. It came out around the same time as Prince of Thieves did. And Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio is the co-lead, but it's not available in the United States on Blu-ray. So I ordered it from Spain. So it's coming from Spain, and it's expensive to have things shipped from Spain.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew that. If our listeners are unaware of how expensive it is to have things shipped. But it is region free. So I'm excited about that. And it's actually got English with Spanish subtitles, and you can turn the Spanish subtitles off.
Awesome. Okay.
So it's good. I'm looking forward because I actually have not seen that one since it was on television in the 90s. Been a really long time, and it's more dour than Prince of Thieves is. You know, Prince of Thieves is sort of like, you know, there's some comedy in it, a little bit funny, a little bit cheeky at times.
Yeah.
Whereas this Patrick Bergin, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio version is pretty dour. It's like almost sounds like maybe the Death of Robin Hood is going to be, which is I've heard is pretty dour as well. So, but I will be seeing that this evening, and looking forward to that. I thought maybe I was going to be able to see more movies, but there's really not like much out that I wanted to see right now, other than, of course, we're going to be talking about Supergirl later. I didn't care about Jackass. I've never seen one of them.
Yeah.
So I just didn't care to go see it. Now, everybody that I know that has seen it has really enjoyed it. Even people that like had never seen any of the other Jackass films going to see this new one because it's like a retrospective. So it's got like older
I heard it's
stuff.
a bit clip showy,
exactly. But everybody seems to love it.
Yeah.
It's just not necessarily my type of humor, so I was never really into it. I've seen clips of all of them, I'm sure, but I've never seen one of them all the way through.
Yeah. I've never watched any of those myself. Other movies this weekend, I really want to get to see, The Furious and all that, but that left. So
it's left. Yeah, it's gone. It left in like, what was it, even 2 weeks? I don't even think it was in theaters. Maybe 2 weeks.
For me, it was under a week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It left Birmingham really quickly as well. And so again, it's another one that I've heard was really great. I just didn't have a chance to get out to see it. I mean, I'm lucky if I get to see, 4 a month. 5 or 6 5 or 6 a month is even tougher.
I think you're doing more than you think, Mikey, when you add up the podcast, but outside of the podcast.
I know. No, I understand that I am blessed with the ability to go see more movies than most people are. I fully understand that. Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you want to get to your pick off the shelf?
It's going to be a very strange conversation for me.
Okay.
Because this was the first time, obviously, that I had seen F for Fake. This is, directed by Orson Welles and others, at least according to IMDb. Now, I can't substantiate the truth to any of this, but Gary Graver is listed as an uncredited director.
Graver, I think, was one of the he was one of the camera guys, right?
He was one of the camera guys. Oja Kodar, which she's a main person in this movie, she's also an uncredited director,
and some behind the scenes on that we'll get to.
And as is Francois Reichenbach, he is given an uncredited directing. Now, this is IMDb, which is I wouldn't say it's user generated, but they don't do much research, I don't think, when it comes to that stuff, especially like uncredited directors. But Francois Reichenbach was also a person that was in this film documentary.
Yes.
I still don't know if it's really a documentary, though.
Well, I think it's a fascinating. I'll get to it when I get to my section, but I think it's a hybrid. Yeah.
So the thing that I actually want to start with is the 9-minute trailer that was on the disc. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that.
No.
But there was a big part of the film that I guess was removed about aliens.
And it's sort of a part of the film still.
Very smaller, but the way that when they released, or actually I think this was an unreleased trailer, but it was like a 9-minute unreleased trailer. And within that unreleased trailer, it seemed like at one point perhaps Wells wanted to mention aliens a bit more than ended up in the film. So because there was this big part about that. These are all, I guess, real people that are in this. Oja Kodar was a real actress and went on to do many other things. I mean, this wasn't necessarily, she was an international, I wouldn't say star, but she was an international presence in the acting profession. And she was sort of like the ingenue of the documentary in a way.
Yeah. If there's the documentary segmented Elmire, then Clifford Irving, which connects back to Elmire, and then you get, there's a little bit of an aside here or there, but really it's Olga is her story at the end. And
right at the end, but it still all ties in together, though.
But it all connects in a way.
So the connection being, if we are to believe the things in the documentary, and keep in mind the documentary is called F for Fake, and the log line or tagline, whatever you want to call it, is a documentary about fraud and fakery. So as I was watching this, I was very skeptical of everything that was happening in this documentary because it felt like a ruse. But I don't know if I didn't do any extra research.
So I can go ahead and tell you.
Yes.
This is my take on it. And obviously we don't have the people to talk to today necessarily.
Of course not.
But most of that stuff you see for the first hour, I'm pretty sure is true.
Okay.
The Olha connection, which he tells you is straight up fake at the end. Spoiler alert for that part. But that connection is fake because she is his lover. In real life, that is his mistress, muse, lover for the later part of his career.
You're talking about Picasso.
That story, yes, but the lady is
right.
I'm not talking about Picasso himself. I'm talking about it is actually Orson Welles' lover. in real life.
Is her, yes.
Yeah.
And the film itself leads you to believe that not necessarily that she was Picasso's lover, but that she was his muse for
Maybe
22
that was
paintings.
Wells telling a story of that he lived. I don't know, but
that's what, right. There's so much weirdness in this film. So the whole thing with the majority of the film is discussion of this forager.
Yes,
this
Elmire.
forager of famous artwork.
Yes,
and this guy
who lies in several interviews, says one thing and then says the next thing in a different interview.
Exactly. So this guy Clifford Irving, and these are real people, but it still felt so like
the scandals that they're talking about are real. So
that's
Elmire really did paint fakes, and Irving really did write a book about him.
Okay.
And then Irving really did get busted for that thing later we'll talk about.
Yeah. So Elmire is doing all this foragery and making quite a bit of money, selling it to museums, selling them. He claims during the interview process that he never sold them to individuals for profit, perhaps.
Yeah.
His claim is that he was only selling them to other art dealers and museums.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very strange. So Clifford Irving is at Elmire's house, and he's writing a book about Elmire.
Yeah.
And Clifford Irving, in and of himself, seems a bit of a charlatan as well, because there's this weird tie-in to I'm blanking his name. No, the rich guy. I'm blanking on his name. Oh my gosh, the very famous
Hughes,
Spruce Goose guy.
Hughes.
Yeah, Howard Hughes. There's this weird tie-in to Howard Hughes involved in this whole thing, and I'm kind of like fascinated with the concept of Howard Hughes, anyways, because especially the way that the documentary kind of hints that there was a lot of doubles used when Hughes was around, like. And that's the thing, like the way this documentary lays out is so disjointed. It's edited horribly.
That's my biggest downside with this documentary. I give it a 7 out of 10 years ago. And rewatching it, there's so much that I love about this documentary.
I couldn't even rank
it. I kind of was thinking, why did I give it a 7 out of 10? And rewatching it, I was like, oh, it's because it's just kind of all over the place sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the story is so out there and unique that it warrants that rating. But I was also at the point where if I'm judging the film on its merits of like what is in front of me, I don't even know if I really wanted to rank it, so I didn't. It's the first time I've never rated something on Letterboxd because it's so poorly done from a technical standpoint, but the story is fascinating.
Yeah.
And the story is so fascinating because, at least from my standpoint, I don't know if it's real. I understand that the people in it are real, but I don't know if the things that they are saying, especially Elmire, especially the things that guy's saying, it's who knows if it's actually real or trustworthy.
Well, and I feel like this is, and I've not done a ton of research on this.
No, I haven't done any. Yeah,
I feel like this is almost Wells having a conversation with the audience about the nature of documentaries and how they can present things to you, and from how directors,
the documentarian, not necessarily the subject.
Yeah. And how filmmakers are magicians who are only showing you what you want to see, and not they have the sleight of hand in their control, and they do a good job with it. And I think he starts getting into the whole conversation of experts and what use are experts if they actually can't tell the difference between some of these famous paintings and forgeries. It's a really fascinating conversation that I don't think we get the full answer to, because I think he's just putting the question out there.
Yeah, he's just putting the question out there in at least from my standpoint, in a somewhat frustrating way, because the way that the story is unfolding makes it difficult to believe the people that are being interviewed. Not to say that like maybe Clifford Irving isn't telling the truth about some things, because he's obviously writing a book about this forager, but the whole running away from the law and to this island of Ibiza, which Ibiza is like a big party place now. I don't know back in the 70s
seemed
if
a lot
was.
quieter.
It seemed a bit more quiet in the 70s, yet still the rich and famous liked to, throw parties and have like, stuff there.
But they were rich parties.
They were rich parties. And this guy seemed like he always wanted to have a bunch of people around him in these parties. And and
he enjoyed telling people stories.
If this is your subject for your documentary, it makes it very, at least for me, it made it very difficult to believe anything that he was saying, especially the way that Welles starts the documentary showing, tricks and little magician things to that little kid. So he's almost like setting up the audience at the very beginning that, yes, I'm going to, have this story that I am going to lay out. But remember at the beginning when I said, it's easy to be a magician when your subject is sort of, off their kilter, like the little kid was, not really knowing what was going on. He kind of wants his viewer of this documentary to not at least be trusting of it. He's almost like a charlatan in that case, as far as the way he's laying the story out.
And later on, he starts showing Elmire saying one thing and then literally saying the opposite thing about
exactly.
I never signed the paintings. I signed them after I'm finished later.
It was so strange. And then the Oja Kodar part of the story makes it even weirder.
Yes.
Because although her story, as they lay it out in the, I guess, last act, I mean, she sort of is throughout the film in certain places, but most of her story is in the last act.
Yes.
Where she is luring Pablo Picasso to a place and doing 22 portraits of her in different styles. Picasso's styles are all similar anyways, but like different poses, different and then he just gives her the paintings. It's also like I don't believe any of it. Like
there's an exhibit that she's involved with in some way and shows up and they're not his paintings.
It's just definitely the weirdest part of
it's definitely the fakest. Right. But he saves it for last, and he sets it up at the beginning saying, for the next hour, I'm going to be telling you the truth.
Right.
Because he had told you the truth, or for the most part, the next hour.
Maybe.
I think Welles is presenting you what he can in the first hour. Elmire is the one, and even the writer, Clifford Irving, are the one kind of telling lies.
Yeah.
He finally does lie to you right at the end with the whole kind of grand story that the first time I watched it, I'll be honest, I was like, okay, that was kind of cool, because I was like, this is so weird, so out there, but it's so bizarre that everything else has been bizarre that I'm bought in right now. And then they pull the rug from under you.
And besides Welles, the only other name that I recognized that was mentioned a couple times was Joseph Cotten.
Yes, and Cotton shows up. Yeah, great.
Joseph Cotton's in the film, and he was supposed to play Howard Hughes at some point.
Yeah, that's one of the asides where they get into Hughes and Hughes's life, and they start talking about Citizen Kane essentially. And Citizen Kane was modeled off of the newspaper tycoon. I'm blanking on his name right now. William Randolph Hearst. That's who it is.
Hearst.
And
first it was supposed to be modeled off of Hughes, and Joseph Cotton was going to be, and then Welles decided he wanted to put himself in it, basically.
Yeah, and then he did it off of Hearst instead, and and the rest is history. Cotton's still in the film,
right?
And I love Cotton. Cotton's like old school Hollywood, great actor. And phenomenal. I think he was a part of RKO's radio stuff as well back in the day. So. That gets touched on as well, that we get into the alien story, the War of the Worlds.
Yes. Yeah. So strange. I mean, and it's very interesting also because we're in a time still where I don't know if you saw that. Wouldn't necessarily call it news, but on social media, apparently there was a War of the Worlds type situation in Argentina, I believe, recently, where they thought that they were being invaded or something. And so it's very interesting that the subject matter that is being discussed, at least during the alien part of the film, which is very small, although, like I said, that unreleased trailer made it seem like perhaps they wanted to do more of it and they just didn't want to have such a long documentary, maybe. Because, again, the editing is some of the worst editing that I've ever seen. But what I'm not sure is if it was intentionally bad. That's what's, like, hard to know, like, if... Because Welles was obviously an accomplished filmmaker. Why would he allow for this to be released in the way that it was with such bad editing?
Well, Welles had a tough time finishing films. That gets brought up in the film itself. They show some clips from movies he had shot that had not been finished yet.
Right.
Starring the lady that becomes a big part of the film.
Oja,
I don't know. I can deal with the editing here. It's not fantastic, but I like you said, it's the story that kind of makes it all work and fascinate you throughout it. But
that's one thing.
I think Welles is way past his prime at this point. I don't know if
no. I mean, he probably was. I mean, he obviously is of a certain age during the filming of this, and so I mean, and not working as much. I will say that I love his voice. He has such just the cadence and the way that he speaks really leads to you're wanting to hang on every word that he's saying. And that's a great magician. He's just really good at that, where I'm like, I believe everything this guy's saying, but some of this stuff that he's putting out in front of me, I don't know if I want to believe it because I don't trust these people that he's interviewing. And it's a fascinating documentary. And so much so that, again, without doing any research about it, like, I don't know how much of it was real and how much of it wasn't. Even though he does say this part's real, this part's not, I don't know if I necessarily believe that.
If I were teaching, and I took a documentary film course in college, and the professor who did that was great. And I remember the documentaries we went over. But if I were doing a documentary film class, I would almost include this in the study for the class, because it's such just a fascinating look at presenting reality in a documentary, and even sleight of hand that directors do to kind of put forward the narrative that they want to put forward. It's just a really fascinating look
and very strategic use of archival footage. Just especially the Howard Hughes stuff. Because at the same time that they're showing actual archival footage of Hughes, they're mentioning the fact that Hughes rumored to have used doubles at times. And so it just makes it so much. It's almost like you're watching Instagram reaction videos nowadays of people saying, look at this thing that looks like an alien, or look at this fake thing that looks real, and the person's trying to convince you that it's real. It's like the first time while they're talking about Howard Hughes and so showing this footage of the spruce goose and just talking about how of an eccentric person that he was. And saying, oh yeah, by the way, it was rumored that he probably used doubles also, so we're not really sure if this is him here or not. I mean, so it's just really great. Like, it's very well done as far as the story itself is concerned, because it's definitely just keeping you guessing throughout, as far as is everything that you're seeing on the up and up. So I very much enjoyed it, but I felt like frustrated by the presentation at times. And so I didn't want to rank it at all, because I think that it is very good at the story that it's outlining, but I just wish that it was a little bit crisper as far as how it's presented. And that's what led me to believe that perhaps the way it's presented is intentional, but I don't know. I didn't do any research as far as that's concerned. Like, I don't know.
I think you're probably right.
I don't know how involved Welles was in the edit in the edit bay of the film. You would think that he was pretty involved, but I mean, I don't know. But I mean, like with a documentary, it's always going to be from the standpoint of the documentarian, not the subject. And so, because the documentarian will cut things, edit things, whatever story they think they're trying to outline is kind of the way they do that. I mean, so it's hard. It's not like you're sitting in the room as all this stuff is happening.
I would call it a hybrid documentary, but I do want to add this real quick.
Why are you calling it a hybrid documentary? Because of the fake stuff at the end? Or?
Yeah, plus the docudrama. They've got scenes that are just clearly film scenes, like the beginning with him doing the magic trick and dramatization stuff. But there is some real documentary happening here as well.
Sure.
So I think it's to me it's kind of a hybrid film.
Yeah.
And then yes, you got the fake stuff at the end. Wells was asked by Jonathan Rosenbaum if he was making a documentary, and he said no. Not a documentary, a new kind of film.
See, I actually look. I'm kind of with that. I mean, I don't know what to call it. It's not a docudrama because there is real stuff in this.
Mm-hmm.
But even the stuff that he says is fake, it's done well enough where you question that.
Yeah,
you're like, maybe this actually.
And
did
I think
because you know what it made me. I was going to say just very quickly, it made me look up when did Picasso die, because I'm like, could this actually have happened? And he died like the year after probably this was filmed.
Yeah,
so I'm like, wow, this really could have happened, but I don't know.
Yeah, no. After the movie finished, I looked up when did Picasso die, because it's just kind of fascinating.
Yeah,
that he was alive that late. And I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, 73, and that's when the movie came out. So
yeah, so the stuff that was filmed, it could have been like 72, but just some of it did feel like, especially the stuff with Oja, I guess is how, Oja. The way he was filming all of her scenes felt really like French New Wave, because it was just like, a lot of it was close-ups of her trying on outfits, doing weird stuff with tigers, in water, I think, with the tigers. I mean, it just, I don't know. It was really just, I don't know. It just made me feel like I wasn't clear about what was going on the whole time.
Well,
and it was good.
The fascinating, because there's a little mini documentary in there called Girl Watching, which I think that's a fake documentary. I don't think that he actually captured people looking at her while she walked by. I think he just videoed people's faces.
And that was first act, wasn't it? I mean, that took and then she comes back again, later on to tie. That's why I was, it's also strange. Like, I think those were paid actors, probably.
Even if they weren't,
if
you're in public, you can be filmed. But even if they weren't, I don't think they were actually looking at her during that stuff.
No, I think it was all edited to make it look like that. Yeah, that's specifically what I felt like, very French New Wave in the way that that was being. So he was playing with a lot of different techniques as he was directing this, and it just I don't know. I liked it a lot, but I didn't want to rate it.
It's so fast. It's really worth a watch once. I mean,
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, and if I were to do some in-depth research about the process of making the documentary or whatever it is, maybe I would want to watch it again after revelations of some type, because I'm sure it's been written about. I just did not choose to. I wanted to talk about it first before, if I choose to do any research beyond that, because I think, at least the way I like to work my way through these things, is to just spew all my ideas out first about what I have watched, and then go look at all the think pieces about it, because I'm sure there's been a lot out there, because gosh, the thing's been out since 73. So, and the good news is that it's very accessible. HBO Max, Criterion Channel. So, I mean, anybody can go out there and watch it if you want to. And it's just a fascinating piece of what really was a really up and down career. People like to glamorize Orson Welles because of Citizen Kane, but the guy had a really up and down career. I mean, it was really strange. Yeah.
But he had such a wide spanning career too. I mean, he starts in 41 with Citizen Kane, which is a huge deal. It gets blacklisted by Hearst and bombs on initial release, but then becomes a classic over time.
Yeah.
He makes a film called Magnificent Ambersons, which I can't even remember if that one was finished necessarily.
There were several that didn't get finished. There was one, like, I think we talked about it last episode, that got released late
on Netflix. Other Side of the Wind.
Yeah, Other Side of the Wind. That's right.
He just has a fascinating career. He's also been an actor for some of his career as well.
He was freaking Unicron, man.
That's true. He's a voice actor.
Transformers the movie.
But he was also in The Third Man, which not his film, but I mean, that's a Criterion film as well.
And that is a great movie. I have seen that. That's one. My father-in-law loves old movies. He works from home also, but his work from home programming is just leaving TCM on all day, and so he watches all the old stuff. So there's a ton of movies that I saw because of him. Because of his suggestions, and Third Man was one of them. And I bought the Lionsgate edition of that. Haven't opened it yet because I've seen the film, but I will eventually open that and watch that because I do love The Third Man. That is a great movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's out of print on Criterion actually, but it is a Criterion release.
I've got the DVD Criterion of that. And then I've got that new Lionsgate one that they did, the Lionsgate Limited one that they did. I bought that during their Black Friday sale last year.
Oh, I didn't even know it was a part of the Lionsgate Limited. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
In fact, to spend more money, but
well, in fact, I would wait for a sale because it's not like they're going to run out of that. So I like I said, I bought it during their Black Friday sale, and it was way cheaper than it is on their website.
Yeah.
But it's a gorgeous looking packaging. It comes with, I haven't opened it yet, but it does come with like an essay type thing. Mm-hmm. So I'll eventually open it. I just, I've got to go through all of these that I haven't seen first.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what is your choice going to be for our next off the shelf pick?
Yeah, what is my next pick for the off the shelf pick?
You need to have these ready to go. You don't need to. You need to have these ready to go. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
kidding. See, I was trying to play it off, but
Yeah, what is my next off the shelf pick going to
be? I have grabbed it. I just want to make sure that it's streaming somewhere, so it costs people money.
Some of mine are always going to cost people money. So
that's going to cost money. You know what? I'm gonna try this one real quick.
Okay.
And
I think that your off-the-shelf pick should be Citizen Vigilante.
I'm gonna go with I dropped it, but I'm gonna go with 1980s The Elephant Man, a Criterion release as well, although I have the British 4K. It is on the Criterion channel.
I don't know that I have seen The Elephant Man. That's Lynch, right?
Yep, David Lynch. Starring Anthony Hopkins, John Hurt, and Bancroft.
I don't think I have seen that, so I am excited. Yeah. The Elephant Man. That's cool.
I think it's one of his more mainstream kind of films too.
Yeah, I mean, mainstream in the sense that there's a coherent story. Yeah.
Hey, you said it, not me.
That's you're right. I mean, that's an accurate statement.
So I'm excited. I've just bought that recently. In the last few months, and
cool.
It is I think coming back in print to Criterion very soon in the next few months as well. So
as a 4K or
I picked up the Studio Canal 4K from Britain.
Well, I mean, they do say that if you can get Studio Canal of anything, do that because it's just better restoration process.
Yeah, well, they use the same master, but the people they use to put on the discs do a better job taking that data and shrinking it in a way that looks good when you pause the movie. It still looks good in motion either way, but
I've purposefully bought a few Studio Canal titles versus the American 4K. Like I did that for The Fifth Element. Mm-hmm. Just upon research, everybody was like, get the Studio Canal, do not buy the American. And the same with Devil's Backbone. Studio Canal just did Devil's Backbone.
Yeah.
And I've got that version on 4K versus what's available in the States.
I'm trying to think of all the Studio Canals I have. I don't have a ton, but I do have the 3 and 4 Musketeers from the Lester era.
Nice.
And I still have the criterion of that because I just kind of want that. But yeah.
Does that, I meant to ask on that because I saw that when I was doing my Barnes & Noble gift card shopping. I saw that and I was close to buying it, but I've got them all already, so I just didn't. I've got them all on Blu-ray or whatever, but does that one have all 4 of them?
No, it's just got the 2 movies, 3 and 4.
Okay.
3 Musketeers and 4 Musketeers, directed by Lester.
So it doesn't have the 3rd one that was like a TV movie that he did.
No, it doesn't. Kino has the rights to that.
Yeah,
I have the Kino Blue.
Yeah, I've got that too. So
yeah.
Okay. Well, right on, man. Let's. I guess we have to talk about Supergirl now, right?
I mean, yeah.
I want to preface everything that at least I'm about to say. I won't speak for Garrison, but everything that I'm about to say about Supergirl, I don't think that the DCU's in trouble. I don't think superhero films are in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's a bit hyperbolic.
All the pundits online that are using that as their talking points are just clickbait, in my opinion. Now, I know that at least from Sean Fennessy's standpoint, and if you don't know who that is, he does a podcast called The Big Picture for the Ringer Network. He didn't necessarily go full, this is the end of superhero films. He was a bit more measured than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he leaves that for Amanda. No, I'm kidding.
He does leave that for Amanda sometimes. But I think that it's a fair conversation to have, but also from the same token, this movie is better than Morbius. This movie is better than Madam Web. I mean, it's way better than Jonah Hex, way better than Catwoman. In other words, there's always been bad movies in general. There's always been bad comic book movies.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is not that level of bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I enjoyed the way that they laid the story out. I think
I agree.
Was a hot mess. I think that under a different circumstance that Millie Alcock has the ability to be a good Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she was just given crap to work with. And sometimes as an actor, you do the best you can with the material you're given. But if the material you're given is just so bad that you can't do much with it and you just have to paint by numbers and just get it done, I mean, that's basically what this was, in my opinion.
Yeah. So let me read a quote.
Yes, please do.
It's from pre-Supergirl.
Okay.
From the man James Gunn himself, CEO of DC.
I know what you're about to read, but go ahead and read it.
I didn't necessarily know that Supergirl would be the second movie we were going to make, but Anna wrote an incredible script, and then we hired an incredible director, and we're going to do this movie after Superman because it was the best option. Other movies have been written, but they weren't as good as this one, so we're going to keep going with that. Everything has to be good. Quality comes first in every project we do, and that's more important than telling a grandiose mega narrative.
So here, go you first, and then I'll say what I think about that.
Look, maybe he needs some more people in there who can kind of look over the scripts and kind of verify. Because look, the stuff he writes, I think is pretty good.
Yeah, for the most part. He can get a little silly, but yeah. For the most part.
Not in love with later Peacemaker stuff necessarily.
Right.
But his Superman script is good, I think. Even if I have some issues with some aspects of it.
Yeah.
But I can't fathom that that's the script that he read that I saw on screen, because I believe I'm fine with this quote in terms of like, hey,
the sentiment is good.
We've got this great script and we've got to make this second. And maybe people won't see it at first, but they'll go see it over time and realize it's a great movie. That's not what happened here.
Yeah.
And so I'm just confused as to what happened.
It is really strange. The writer, look, I mean, not saying that she isn't necessarily a person that has the ability to write a good screenplay, but
and who knows?
She's new. She's so green and new to the business of writing. She has television stuff. She has television stuff, doesn't she?
Well, but my point is, she she could have turned in a fantastic script that could have been torn apart, and we have no idea.
Right. Yeah.
I don't fully want to blame her.
I read a really weird interview that she did where she had given up on being contacted by Warner Brothers after she turned in the script because it had been so long, but then they got back in touch with her. So even though James Gunn is saying that he didn't know Supergirl was going to be his next film or whatever, it sounds to me like they were not necessarily desperate to put something on screen, but they didn't want the very next film to be Man of Tomorrow. And and they knew Clayface was going to be for a different audience, and so they needed something.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think Gunn says all those things. I mean, he gushed about that script for years.
He did. I mean,
you don't say that unless you actually believe in the script.
I guess. I don't know.
I think Gunn loves that script. I don't know about the final movie itself.
That is worrisome if that's true. I mean, a lot of times I think that from the standpoint as the guy that's standing on the box saying, I want you to love everything that comes out on WB, he had to at some point say, yes, I love this script, because otherwise, why would the movie be made?
He was saying it before they shot cameras. he pushed it to the front on purpose.
But also, there had to have been pressure.
They have a Brave and the Bold script that has been written and rewritten and rewritten.
Well, we know the complications behind the whole Brave and the Bold thing, though.
Sure,
because of Matt Reeves. You can't.
Well,
you
can, but
yeah. That's a complicated situation. And then the Wonder Woman thing, I don't know.
I think a DC universe that takes too long to get to Batman will fail no matter what. That is your most popular character. And I'm just talking about financially. That's something that I'm sure Paramount and Warner Brothers are going to start talking about when the merger closes.
Oh, yeah.
Because
for sure.
As much as I respect Gunn and I really do like his work, you've got to get Batman in there at some point, because
that's the thing, though. They're about to release within the next year and a half. They're going to release Batman 2, and it's going to make $1 billion. Because it's going to be worthy of making $1 billion, because it will be good. I mean, Matt Reeves has a track record that would lead us to believe that what he's going to give us will be good, and it will make a crap ton of money, because the anticipation has built to a point where everyone's going to go see that thing. And it's Batman, who I think right now, maybe this wasn't true historically all the time, but I think right now Batman is bigger than Superman.
Oh yeah, no. That's been that way for a while, and you can see it on the comic side. The things that sell versus don't sell. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why Batman has a bunch of like spinoff comics all over the place. It's a reason why Joker gets his own comics and Harley gets her own comics, and that kind of thing.
And the reality is that from a critical standpoint, everything that Matt Reeves has released in his universe has been lauded more than anything that Gunn has released.
Yeah.
And that has to be a difficult situation for James Gunn to be in, especially now with how poorly Supergirl has been. Yeah.
Now, I want to give some space because, like you said, this is the second film in the DCU. I really wish they had no connections to the cartoons or the TV shows, because this should be the second project. You can have a bad second project, and then you've still got Man of Tomorrow shooting right now. It could be fantastic, and we're talking about how great that is in a year.
Like I predict now that Clayface is going to do financially better than Supergirl.
I think it's
because here's the other thing.
At least ROI wise, I think that's a slam dunk.
right, ROI wise, but I think like in the end, it's going to, because Supergirl is going to end up being less than 3. It'll be lucky if it gets to 250 at this point.
Yeah,
I think that if Clayface is good, and it does have Matt Reeves' name on it because he is executive producing that.
Yeah, but it's DCU as well, so
right. But putting Matt Reeves' name on it,
yeah,
is going to make a difference, I think.
I only worry about Clayface from the standpoint of, and I'm not saying that the movie's not going to be good. I think it has a really good chance to be good.
Looks like it could be good. Yeah.
People are going to go, Mike Flanagan wrote Clayface. Mike Flanagan wrote Clayface.
Oh, sure. Exactly.
Mike Flanagan wrote a 10-page treatment that got turned into a giant script.
I know.
I'd be careful with that.
From a marketing standpoint, they're going to use Mike Flanagan's name.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to use Matt Reeves' name. Watkins is a fine director. I actually liked his remake of See No Evil or Hear No Evil or whatever it was. Or Speak No Evil. I think it was Speak No Evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to get there eventually. It was because McAvoy was a beast in that movie. Like he was good in that, even though it didn't necessarily like break the bank financially. It's still a well-made movie. So I don't know. I'm very much rooting for Clayface, but I'm not rooting for Clayface to do better than Supergirl because I hated Supergirl so much that I want it to fail and fail hard. I don't ever want any film to fail and fail hard, but especially the DCU and the timing of it is just really bad.
Yeah,
it's just really, really bad.
I've seen people comparing it to like Incredible Hulk or something, and I think Incredible Hulk probably will do better at the box office than this did. But
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what
I'm talking about in relation to budget versus
in relation to budget. Yeah, I mean, I don't exactly know. I mean,
but
I'll say some things that I liked about the movie.
Okay, yeah, let's actually talk about the movie.
Yeah. As far without spoilers, I mean, it's a brand new movie. We don't necessarily want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
I really liked all of the stuff with Supergirl and her dad and her mom. I really wanted that story to be fleshed out more because that would help us understand the motivations of the character more, I think. I mean, obviously they show that stuff and it's all in flashback format. They're showing the audience that stuff to try and get you to feel sympathetic for the character. But I don't think they showed enough of it. Like, I needed to see a bit more of that to understand the pain that she's going through right now in current day versus the past. I mean, she's never gotten over all of that stuff that she dealt with when she was younger.
Yeah.
And they didn't flesh that out enough for us to really care enough.
Yeah.
And I would have liked some more of that.
I think the problem with the whole movie is that I largely don't care about any of the characters.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe the most I care about is the girl, but almost barely. I mean, that's...
yeah, it's fair. I mean, we do see her whole family, and this is in the preview, so it's not a spoiler. We see her whole family brutally murdered. So,
yeah.
I mean, it does... You do care about what happens to her a bit.
I don't care about the villain. He's kind of a nothing.
No.
Really reminded me of Thor: Dark World, where I'm watching a villain that is just
totally
bland.
agree. Totally agree.
I don't care about.
Yeah.
That I think hurts the movie a lot too.
Yeah.
If it had a dynamic villain, it would probably be at least something you're like, okay, that was all right,
And not that every adaptation of every comic has to be fully accurate and depict exactly what's on the page onto the screen. Sometimes that can't be adapted well. I think that if they would have stuck with the nature of how the character was in the comic book, he was just a bad dude. He didn't look like an alien. He was just a bad looking dude.
I don't like the look either.
Oh, I hated the look of the film.
I meant the bad guy's look, but the look of the film's not fantastic.
Well, and Krim looks horrible. I think that it would have been more menacing to have him look just like a normal dude, like he did in the comic book.
He's a pirate. I mean, and in the comic, he looks like a pirate.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that was a missed opportunity, and I don't necessarily. They don't have to go page for page adapting the comic book. I don't need that. The MCU doesn't do that. I mean, it's difficult to do that, and make a good movie out of it.
What you should do is borrow good elements from the comics and tell a story that works for the cinematic media.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's something that MCU did really well for the first three phases, especially in phase 3 to me. with Civil War and then the Infinity War stuff. Both stories I don't love in the comics.
Right. They adapted them well. They chose what, like you said, they chose the good aspects of it and went with that. And they did the opposite of that with Supergirl. They threw away the potential good aspects of the story in Woman of Tomorrow or whatever it's called.
And there's some controversy that the writer Anna, I don't remember her last name off the top of my head, but she was giving an interview talking about how they changed the ending because in the ending of the comic, the little girl kills Krim or whatever, but the little girl doesn't kill Krim in the comic, and that's become a whole talking point.
It's just lack of knowing your subject matter, I guess, or caring enough to know the subject matter, maybe.
And
I don't know.
Gillespie's case, I understand why he did this, but at the same time, I almost wish he had not done this. But he said that he wanted to create the visuals from the script he got, and then he looked at the comic. I almost would rather have looked at the comic for the visuals, and then
I don't even know
gone from there.
I never, from looking at Gillespie's filmography, to me, he never seemed like a guy that was a big like comic book reader or whatever. I mean, he did adapt a lot of true stories. And he adapted them well. Say what you will about Dumb Money, it's still a fun watch. It may be not the best movie in the world, but I enjoyed aspects of Dumb Money quite a bit. That was during the pandemic, and so it never got I don't think it got a theatrical release. I think it was straight to Hulu or something weird like that.
It was weird, yeah.
And then I, Tonya was really a great adaptation. Yes, sensationalized for film, but it worked well. I mean, that was Academy Award nominated. So it's just Gillespie is a capable writer and a capable director. I think that he was in over his head a bit, perhaps, with the machine of Warner Brothers.
Yeah. If I have to give a recommendation, if you're going to watch a Craig Gillespie movie, I would recommend Lars and the Real Girl.
It's great.
Strange, but it's good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like,
and Gosling is fantastic.
I mean, I'd say as far as more mainstream, I, Tonya is probably the one to watch.
Yeah.
But I mean, Lars and the Real Girl, it's a weird subject matter, but it's a very, very good movie. Yeah, there were so many strange decisions made with this whole process.
The needle drop at the end.
The use of music was so poorly done.
I don't think any of the songs really worked for me in the movie.
I don't think any of them did either.
And here's my problem. When Gunn writes his scripts, he writes the songs into the script.
Right. Yeah.
So they are like in the process. He knows what he's going to put in. He knows what they sound like. It sounds like the process for this, they just chose the songs afterwards. And I think that can work, but I don't think it worked well at all here.
I saw an interview with Gillespie that said that Gunn was involved at least with the last song.
Yeah, but that was in post, and they took like 45 different songs and attached it to the scene. And again, my point is, if you're going to just do excessive needle drops, write it in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it. I hate that the movie is not doing well, but it just comes simply down to people pay attention to word of mouth. And Rotten Tomatoes is unfortunately what people pay attention to. And if early word of mouth is not good for something, people are not going to waste their hard-earned money to go see the movie. And that's what has happened here.
To me, the worrying thing I saw earlier in the week in terms of potentially not liking the movie myself was seeing some of the comic book guys I follow and some of the movie reviewers I follow in general just kind of going, I really wanted to love this movie, but I only kind of liked it. And I was like, "Ooh, that's a bad sign."
Yeah,
those guys should be loving this. It's right up their alley. They love the comic.
Yeah.
And they don't love this. That's a bad sign.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because in the end, you really can't necessarily trust the audience when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes. Like, I don't ever really trust the audience score on things, to be honest, because those people are compromised because they're going in with preconceived notions about, hey, this is a character I want to see on the big screen, so I'm automatically going to love everything that I see.
For a major, what is supposed to be 4-quadrant tentpole movie, costs 170, whatever it costs to make.
Right. Yeah.
A 77 verified audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is bad. It's the equivalent of its cinema score in terms of being a B- on cinema score, which is bad. It's a bad cinema score.
No, yeah, and it should,
for a big
for a big
quadrant
blockbuster,
tentpole blockbuster movie. For a horror movie, a B- is not a killer.
Correct.
But for this, it's bad.
Yeah.
In fact, there are headlines from the Wrap saying today that it might not hit 200 by the end of its run.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be real surprised if it got to 250. 200, I think it has a chance, but it's doing horribly internationally. Like, it did horribly internationally. I think it only eked out 35 or something international.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of markets to only now. And I don't know if it got a Chinese release and a Japanese. I don't know if it's
for reference.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I say, for reference, the biggest bomb for Marvel was The Marvels, which hit 206.
Shocker.
Worldwide, 84 domestic, 121 international.
Yeah.
During the strikes too, when the cast couldn't promote the movie. I mean, they didn't really promote those movies as hardcore as you're going to get for Supergirl. So
yeah. It's just disappointing. I mean, because you want to believe that Gunn has his hands around this thing. Like,
I'll be honest, I like Gunn.
Yeah,
I do. I like the stuff he makes for the most part.
Yeah,
but I don't know that I have ever seen him as a person that I've wanted to run an entire cinematic universe.
Right. He's no Kevin Feige.
A section of the universe where he does his thing with the goofy characters.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have some fun with that. And I think he did a good job with Superman. I mean, that was surprising to me in some ways because that's not what he does necessarily.
Well, if we are to believe his wife, Man of Tomorrow is the best movie that he's ever made.
Well, that's he's still making it. So.
She said that either yesterday or today, that Jennifer Holland was like, it's the best movie James has ever made. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the midst of it.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, I think
I like Corn Sweat.
Yeah.
The Corn Sweat stuff in this, for the most part, was good. I'll be honest, I didn't love the last scene, which felt tacked on, and my understanding is it was tacked on.
Well, yeah, they felt like they needed, like, I'm sure the studio was like, we need more Superman in this thing after what they saw. I mean,
he's not really given much to do there.
He's not given much to do, and to be completely honest, I don't think that either actor is gelling together. I just don't think that there's any. Not that there's supposed to be anything more, but there's not even any like brotherly, sisterly chemistry there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's nothing there. Like it's void of anything. Like both of them have better chemistry with Crypto than they do themselves. I mean, it's just and we're supposed to believe that,
and she's supposed to be a part of Man of Tomorrow too, which is why they put that scene in there.
A big part, apparently, but hopefully now that this has done so poorly, you would have to imagine that whomever is above Gunn and Safran will be like, you cannot use this much screen time for Supergirl. They messed that up for themselves, though. Mm-hmm. If they wanted her to be such a big part of Man of Tomorrow, they should have delivered a good movie, and they didn't. So now they're going to have to pare down whatever she was supposed to do in Man of Tomorrow. And maybe bring and build up the Wonder Woman scenes and push down the Supergirl scenes, which is what they should do anyways. Supergirl is not a level character in DC. No. You can't sell me that.
I can't believe they spent 170 on this. And I'm not saying that because of the look of it necessarily, which doesn't look like 170, but
no, it doesn't.
But at the same time, I mean, just like you said, the status of the character, I mean, that to me screams $100 million blockbuster.
Like, at least from what we have seen of Supergirl in film, she's a campy joke of a character when it comes to what we've seen of her in the past.
Well, and that's why they went with this story.
The Helen Slater movie.
It's a very serious story about, revenge
but they didn't make us feel that.
The problem is the movie has no high highs.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really have a ton of low lows either.
Right.
It's just unremarkable.
Well, that's why I said that I wish that they would have fleshed out more stuff with her and her family, because I think that they could have capitalized on the lows of that. And they just chose not to. They just showed us little snippets of that.
Yeah.
Because I think that David Krumholtz, from what he was given, did not phone that performance in.
No,
I think he was great.
I was surprised to see him in the movie. I didn't realize he was going to be in the movie. And I was like, hey, it's Krumholtz from Oppenheimer.
And I am going to, here's the one thing that I want to implore filmmakers. Stop using Seth Rogen for anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
He stood out in that scene, the bus
Too
scene.
much. He is always Seth Rogen in whatever dumb voice they are using him in. Stop using Seth Rogen for things.
Do you have any comments on his comments about how Stallone only has maybe 4 good movies or whatever he said?
Seth Rogen is an idiot, but whatever. I like the studio though, but he is an idiot. I mean, it's just
I don't know that I'd talk about quality of movies.
There's nothing more that takes me out of a movie than hearing his voice on a character.
Yeah.
And that's not the first time that's happened. He's done a lot of voiceover work. It just takes me immediately out of a movie. And not that the movie was holding my attention much anyways, but when his stupid voice came on screen, it just made me angry. I was like so over him being in anything, but I don't know. Supergirl. So the only like wide release that we really have coming out next week is Minions and Monsters.
Yep.
I am kind of excited about seeing it just because it's apparently an homage to old Hollywood. So
it's getting good reviews.
It's getting good reviews. I'm kind of excited to see that. Not that we're going to spend a lot of time talking about it, but I am going to go see Young Washington.
Okay.
I'll mention it briefly. I'm seeing it on the 4th of July. It just feels like something I should do, is see Young Washington on the 4th of July. And so I'm making my teenager and my preteen go see that movie with me, and they're really mad at me for making them go see that movie. And I'm excited to shove that down their throats as of something. And I've heard it's not a horrible movie. I've heard it's not like the best thing. I think Rhett has seen it already.
Rhett saw it
because it was the last Monday's Screen Unseen. And look, it's probably not great, but I'm more just being an evil dad and making my kids go see it. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, I'm going to go see that. And I'm going to see Minions and Monsters as well. So we'll talk about as much as we can Minions and Monsters. I'm not sure how much depth that film is going to have, but luckily
it's George Lucas. So,
but it's paired with Elephant Man, which is actually old Hollywood in a way. It's that movie is almost an homage to old Hollywood as well. So we've got two like homages here that we're going to be watching.
I did not plan that, but
you never do.
Well, that's not true. I did plan
I'm kidding.
On Mando and Grogu. I planned that week.
Yes, you did plan that one. Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't have said that.
Where can people find you on the internet, Mike?
Yeah. I am on X. I'm also on Letterboxd, but mostly I hang out in our Discord, and I'll let Garrison tell you about that.
You can find me at GRyfun3, GRYFUN3 on Twitter. You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfun. You can find us at Cinema Debrief on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find us at cinemadebriefpod@gmail.com if you want to get access to the Discord, or if you want to just send us a letter. I know Mikey put out a little flyer last week about stuff you could send in, your thoughts about certain things. We'd love to hear them. We'd love to hear your thoughts about Supergirl if you want to send those to us.
I want Rhett to send us a too long didn't read email about Supergirl.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm calling you out, Rhett. Not that you even listen to our podcast, but I'm calling you out.
We will see you guys next week for The Elephant Man and Minions and Monsters.